Hey everyone, so I'm Jackie, and unfortunately I don't have my team Ben and Dan here, but I'm going to do my best to try to describe the geology of this area. So right now I'm in the town of Interlaken in Switzerland, and it's known for being a super touristy town, but for a good reason. So they have rafting, paragliding, which you can't see any of them right now. We're actually in the paragliding landing zone, but it's good that they're not landing right now. But they have paragliding, they have swimming, they have rafting, as I already said, and a bunch of stuff. But besides that, Interlaken literally means between two lakes, and there's a lake to the right and a lake to the left of me, and they used to be one big lake, but they have since then been divided because fluvial systems from the mountains came down and deposited a bunch of sediment here. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the main thing that people come here to do, which is visit the... why are they covered? Okay, well, just a minute ago, the Swiss Alps over there were not covered with mountains, but now they're covered. Anyways, the Swiss Alps are very visible from Interlaken, and what people do is that they take a bus from here to Grindelwald, which is a typical Swiss mountain town, and from there they take a gondola all the way up, midway up the mountains, and then from there they take a train that takes them all the way to the top. And from the top you can see three main peaks, which are the Eiger peak, the Mönch peak, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and the JungFrau peak, which is the tallest of the three. It's at about 4,158 meters. So when you're up there, people do a lot of cool things, like they look at the ice palace, which is cool because they have that one squirrel from Ice Age, Scratch, frozen away in the ice. And they also have a snow adventure part where you can throw snowballs at people, or a really cool Instagrammy spot that so many people will take pictures at. But we all know what we're here for today, and that is to see and to know why the Swiss Alps, specifically the rocks and everything that is there, how that came to be there. So on to the geology. So at around 92 million years ago, the African plate started pushing the Adriatic plate, which doesn't really exist as a plate anymore, but the African plate started pushing the Adriatic plate over the oceanic part of the European plate. Then at around 35 million years ago, the oceanic part had completely gone underneath the Adriatic plate. This led to the continental part of the Adriatic plate being thrusted over the continental part of the European plate. Whenever the Adriatic plate was being thrusted over the European plate, it was metamorphosing a bunch of rocks, and I'll get back to this later. Because at around 22 million years ago, geologists think that the oceanic crust that was being pulled under eventually broke off, and this made the overlying crust more buoyant and thus allowed it to rise up higher and higher, all the way up to how you see them today. Rocks that were initially about 10 kilometers deep were brought up all the way to form the top of the JungFrau, Mönch, and Eiger mountains that you see today. These rocks were sedimentary rocks, and whenever I mentioned that they were being metamorphosed, well, they were being metamorphosed into gneisses, and this is what you see when you go up there. I also saw some migmatites, which are rocks that have been partially melted, and that's why they're all wavy and cool looking. And for the geologists out there, these rocks were under the lower green schist metamorphic conditions. So thank you for tuning into this brief introduction or overview of how the Swiss Alps came to be. I'll include some links and my sources of where I got this information from. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you to my sister for holding the camera. And are Are the Swiss Alps here yet? No? Okay, well, I'll include another stock photo of what they look like. Bye!